assembly. Somewhere I read of the freedom of speech. Somewhere I read of the freedom of press. Somewhere I read that the greatness of America is the right to protest for rights. And so just as I say we aren't going to let any dog or water hoses turn us around, we aren't going to let any injunction turn us around. Well, I don't know what will happen now. We've got some difficult days ahead. But it really doesn't matter with me now, because I've been to the mountaintop. I don't mind. Like anybody, I would like to live a long life. Longevity has its place. But I'm not concerned about that now. I just want to do God's will. And He's allowed me to go up to the mountain. And I've looked over, and I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land. So I'm happy tonight. I'm not worried about anything. I'm not fearing any man. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord.
Diversity, the state of having people who are different races or who have different cultures in a group or organization. Our number one goal at the Smoking Glass Hour is to create diversity. We believe diverse conversations with diverse groups of people makes America better. Listen to our broadcast on Monday nights at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time and Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Diversity is the only way to go in 2015. And don't forget, tell a neighbor, tell a friend about the diversity on the Smoking Glass Hour. It's time to take back control of our society. Today's world requires an open and honest discussion about the current events. On the Smoking Glass Hour with Beer and Glass, our goal is to engage people from different walks of life into a healthy discussion, creating a positive outcome. When it comes to global events, tune in to the Smoking Glass Hour with Beer and Glass on Monday nights at 7:30. We don't just listen to the news, we bring you the news. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Smoking Glass Hour with Beer and Glass. We are honored to have you as a guest tonight and want to thank each of you for your faithful support. Without further delay, allow me to introduce to you Mr. Beer and Glass. Mr. Glass, take it away.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the Smoking Glass Hour with Beer and Glass tonight, Thursday, August the 18th, 2016. We know that we are still experiencing all the catastrophic natural disasters down in South Louisiana. So we decided tonight to talk about something that's very dear to all of our hearts, especially if you have a heart of giving and a heart of civic duty. So tonight we're going to talk about civic duty and responsibility versus self-interest. I'm going to be joined tonight by Miss Nikki Bedrick, Miss Debbie Dilks, Mr. Aaron Hopkins, hopefully Miss Paula Stafford, and Dr. A.F. Riggins. And I know that Dave Lamont is working late. His shift work has not changed. Hopefully we'll be joined tonight by Mr. Ongerio Cameron from Little Rock, Arkansas. Again, as we sit back and try to comprehend 15, 20, 25, or 30 inches of rain, we want to make sure that we do our part. We want to make sure that you do your part. We want to make sure that we help our fellow man, our fellow brother, our fellow sister. Now, approximately 47 million people live in poverty. We get many people killed on the streets by police. We have crime against crime of all races on a daily basis in the United States of America. We have the largest prison population in the world and operate prisons for profit. We also have mass shootings, unprecedented in the history of a civilized nation. We kill each other at the rate of 91 people per day. We have thousands of our brothers and sisters displaced by flooding, and we are at perpetual war in 2016. Now, when we flip this over from just an average everyday citizen, and we take it to those who are supposed to be responsible for making our lives better. Our DNC, Democratic National Committee, tells us America is the greatest country on earth. The Democrats. And then we flip the script, and Donald Trump tells us he'll make America great when we are beset with so many untreated social problems. At what time for you has America been great? At what time in the history of this country has it been great? So what does the Donald mean when he says, make America great again? The questions that I have for you tonight: what can we do? What can we deem of our leaders or do as a nation? Or do the nation even care? I hope that you are joining us live right now at 8 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. You can go to www.thesmokingglasshour.com and check us out live there. Or if you want to call in, you listen out there on the link, you want to call and participate, you can call in by dialing 773-897-6398. Again, 773-897-6398. The goal of our broadcast is two things. We want to make a difference, and we want you to let your voices be heard. Nikki Bedrick, how are you doing? Nikki, how are you doing? Aaron Hopkins, how are you doing? Aaron, are you out there? How about Nikki? How about Deb?
Can you hear me, Baron?
I can hear you now.
Yeah, I think we were all muted, Baron. I'm here as well.
Okay. I'm sorry that you guys were all muted, but let me start over again. Nikki Bedrick, how are you doing?
I'm fine, Baron. How are you?
Okay, I got the message, Mr. Hopkins, that the lines were not muted. Aaron, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, Baron.
Okay. Debbie Dilks, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, Baron. Thanks.
Okay. Let's talk, ladies and gentlemen. We know that people are complaining about the President of the United States not stopping his vacation to go down to Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I just read somewhere where Trump and Mr. Pence will be going down to Baton Rouge, Louisiana to look at the flood disaster. Tonight's topic is civic duty and responsibility versus self-interest. Nikki, let's talk about that topic. and get directly into the heart of the discussion. Let's talk about, in your opinion, Nikki, what are the civic duties and responsibilities versus those who have those self-interests? Let's start there.
Well, I'd like to read something on a hasty code, okay? And he's particularly talking about racism here, but it's a great statement about America. And he says, perhaps there has been at some point in history some great power whose elevation was exempt from the violent exploitation of other humans. If there has been, I've yet to discover it. But this banality of violence can never excuse America, because America makes no claim to the banal. America believes itself exceptional, the greatest and noblest nation ever to exist, a lone champion standing between the white city of democracy and the terrorists, barbarians, and other enemies of civilization. One cannot at once claim to be superhuman and then plead mortal error. I propose to take our countrymen's claims of American exceptionalism seriously, which is to say, I propose subjecting our country to an exceptional moral standard. This idea that America is great, when just the point of fact, the floods in Louisiana, where is the outpouring of help? Where is the care? Where is the care for neighbor? This is a national disaster. The last time this country came together was 9/11. It came together well there because it was an outside threat. We do not take care of our own citizens. The whole topic tonight, Baron, there's 47 million people in poverty. There's 20 million of those in extreme poverty. That's less than $2 million a day. Mm-hmm. People in Louisiana are losing their homes, their belongings, their lives, their everything. Where is this humanitarian effort that America claims itself to be a morally superior country? We do not respond to our poor. We do not respond to our marginalized. We do not respond to our hungry. And I think southern Louisiana, is just another indication of that. Mm-hmm. That we claim this moral superiority.
Right. Nikki, let me, right where you started at, do you feel that when we look at our educational system here in Caldwell Parish, not just Caldwell Parish, but throughout the country, do you feel that we as educators, educational institution, do you feel that we missed a mark by not teaching kids about community service, about civic duties, requiring them as they get older and more developed to become more involved in civic duties, so when they become an adult, they will actually respond voluntarily rather than someone having to ask or actually force, in some cases, people to get involved helping their neighbor. How do you feel about that?
I think, Baron, we're quick to blame the schools for everything. A teacher is employed to teach. Teach mathematics, teach history, teach English. I have a couple of friends who are school teachers and talk about hungry children coming into their classrooms, or undisciplined children coming into their classrooms, or ill-clothed children coming into their classrooms, where maybe the first half hour of their day is trying to take care of the needs of children that should be taken care of at home. So I'm the one that really, I believe this is it's a general fault all over, but I don't believe schools should bear the burden. If we send teachable children to school, maybe teachers could teach. I think our whole, and I'm going to say it, I may offend those who are no believers. I believe when we threw God out of the school and didn't even replace an objective truth with some kind of morals or ethics, we left a void for our children. That sense of civic duty, that sense of I've done daycare in Catholic schools, religious schools, and really being able in those schools to involve maybe a story of Solomon, to get children to understand what I was saying. Today, I mean, unless opinion has taken the opinion is fact. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I just don't believe it's the schools. I believe it's a kind of national disease we have of non-caring. Mm-hmm. And there's lots of reasons that those children are coming in hungry and impoverished and unteachable that are, you know, so we can talk about the homes, but the condition of the homes and the poverty and the things beneath that are the mm-hmm. things that need to get addressed.
Right. Let me switch it over to Aaron Hopkins, who I know for some times, has done a lot of civic duties, a lot of help, a lot of assistance, and all those other things. Aaron Hopkins, let me ask you this. We know that you just took your son down and released him to grow up and become a man on a college campus. I know that the morals and values that you were instilled with, you've actually put those morals and values in your son. Relative to civic duty and responsibility versus self-interest, by having an 18-year-old son, Aaron, how do you see or how do you view the world now when it comes to the civic duties and responsibility? I'll tell you what, Aaron, before I go to you, I got a caller that's out there right now who is from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and I'd like to engage with him just a moment so we can understand and hear perhaps exactly what it is that's going on down in Baton Rouge. Caller 225, are you out there?
Yes, I'm on.
How you doing tonight?
I'm doing fine.
We all across the world are able to see photos, images, and things like that, and nothing can compare to when you're actually down on the ground dealing with this. From your personal assessment, based on what you see on a daily basis and experiencing even right now, give us some type of account of what's going on down in the southern part of the state of Louisiana, I-10, I-12 corridor, and all of those surrounding areas.
Well, right now, it's really bad down here for people. A lot of people flooded out. A lot of them might not have been flooded out in the home, but the yards and stuff all flooded out, but it smells so bad like a hog pen. And you know the thing about the people that flooded and the people homeless and all that, and I was talking to a guy today and he was actually saying, well, what about the people that work that's not flooded out but haven't been working, you know? And so there's a lot of issues going on. You know, it's getting better down here in Baton Rouge, a lot of water going down, but, you know, from Baton Rouge to Central to, you know, I mean, further as you can see, I mean, it's really bad and it's really muddy and it's really, odor is real bad.
Mm-hmm. Right. Now, when you look at all of those homes, all of these people's lives, if we were to even try to make a comparison, or accurate or inaccurate comparison between Katrina and the government, FEMA, and all those agencies assisting, are you guys getting a good response from the governor? I know he's out there. I keep seeing that the mayor is having his issues down there in Baton Rouge. Tell us from the governmental side of it, are you getting a lot of assistance from those? Are they being sympathetic to your needs, or how's that going?
Yes, I got to say, the governor, the sheriff, you know, the city police, chief, I mean, them guys have really stepped up. Now, the mayor, I ain't going to go there, but, you know, them guys really, I mean, them guys say, you know, people holler about white people, black people. It ain't no matter now with no black and white, because them guys out here in the water, waving in the water just like everybody else, man. Them guys up all night, like Sid Gutro, and like the sheriff, you know, he out there, the city, the governor, he at Southern University every day. I mean, them guys out there, they really, you know, looking out for us down here in Louisiana.
Okay, when we look at, let's flip over. When we talk about telling a neighbor, telling a friend, or helping a neighbor and helping a friend. And I don't want to generalize or put everybody in the same box or anything like that. But are we seeing neighbors helping neighbors? Are we seeing outside sources coming in to help? And like I said, we're just trying to get a personal assessment because here at the Smoking Glass Hour, we're trying our best to facilitate, and perhaps if we can just buy water, toothpaste, some of those small, necessary items that people need on a daily basis. We are actually working on trying to facilitate some of that stuff down in you guys' particular area. So give us some of that personal background with neighbors helping neighbors and stuff like that. Is that going pretty well?
Man, I got to really say, man, the people's really stepping up. Only problem we having is a few little, I'm going to call them thugs. Mm-hmm. People going through problems, and these people breaking in people's houses, okay? Like the thing with the mayor and the sheriff. Well, the sheriff telling the people, to stay in when they didn't want to stay in. So these people breaking in people's houses, people that moved out their house and can't go back to their houses. And these people going back and breaking in these people's houses. So the mayor didn't want, the curfew, which everybody, I'm not mad at it. They should have been had the curfew because, just say you stranded in your house, in your house, and, you don't know who all is left in their house, because a lot of people still in their house. Well, let's say you laying in your house, in your bed, you don't have no lights, and somebody come kick your door in. Mm-hmm. What you supposed to do? Mm-hmm. And that, that's why, I feel the sheriff did a good job with that because, he trying to protect everybody. Then another thing, you don't know if no electric line in the water. You don't know nothing. You out there at night, you don't know what's going on.
Right. I did see somewhere where the sheriff issued a curfew. He went to the governor, and the governor approved that. And the mayor looked at that as a slap in his face because he felt like he was the mayor of the city, and he said that some of the businesses were complaining about this, that, thus. And so right now, I venture to say that you guys are worried about safety and things of that nature, correct? Looting and all those other type of things that could happen when people are out there on the streets roaming. So it's more of a protection measure, wouldn't you think?
Yes, I feel like this. The way everything going on, the water is going down a lot down here, but the way it was, you need a curfew, man. These people, it's dangerous, like I'm saying. Just say if I ain't have no power, say your street ain't have no power. So, you might be living in a house with a cam and a battery fan, mm-hmm. and somebody kick your door in, man, you don't know what might happen. You don't know what might cross your mind in between that time. You hear that door kick open, and you in your bed and your kids in there.
Right. I'll tell you, let me yield. I got Miss Nikki Bedrick from Las Vegas, Nevada. I have Miss Debbie Dilks from Missouri and Mr. Aaron Hopkins from Dallas, Texas. Aaron, I'm going to bring you in. Do you have a question, that, any type of consolation that you'd like to offer to the caller from down in the actual affected area down on the ground right now who's taking out his time to call in and talk to us live?
Well, I definitely just want to say thank you to the gentleman for coming on. I was there this time last week, and I saw the rain come down. Fortunately, I was not there when the apex of it, or the when the actual flooding of everybody's homes took place, but it was beginning. I'm glad the gentleman mentioned what's going on at Southern University. I saw several reports that, for whatever reason, excluded the fact that Southern University is housing a lot of the displaced families and people of that area. Because my son is actually on that campus, and he's kind of been giving me a play-by-play. But the other thing I want to mention, as the gentleman mentioned, is the fact that things that seem to be important after a situation like this occurs, those things are no longer important because what's important now is the protection of life. And I think a lot of people don't realize what it takes to survive in a situation where you've basically lost everything or can possibly lose everything in a matter of days. So my heart, man, goes out to everybody down there. I'm blessed that my son and my family, we're blessed that he's actually on the campus where it's not as much of a dangerous situation as it is for the residents.
Mm-hmm.
But seeing something like that, Baron, is so humbling because we always talk about things and how people, and all of us do it at some point or another. We take simple things for granted, like the fact that we can get in a car and drive down the road. Well, there's people that can't even get to their cars right now.
Correct.
Can't even get out of their doors and stand on their porch. Matter of fact, one of the tragic things that did happen while I was there was a gentleman did lose his life coming out from his porch. I think he misjudged the strength, the current of the water. The water was not that high yet, but it was about 2.5 to 3 feet high. The elderly gentleman got caught in the current. This gentleman on the line may know what I'm talking about. This was, I think, in Baker when this happened.
Mm-hmm.
But the point is how quickly a man lost his life just trying to do what he normally does, which is come off his porch and probably go to his mailbox or something like that.
Right. Aaron, thanks for that comment. Debbie Dilks, we have a caller directly live from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, right in the heart of some of the affected areas. You have anything that you'd like to say, offer any type of words of encouragement, comfort, anything, you may do so.
Thanks, Baron. First, I want to say I'm so sorry about what everybody's going through down there. It's just a tragic situation. But hopefully people will continue to help out and contribute and to stay in contact. I was just wondering, is there anything that, I actually had more of a question, is there anything that seems to be lacking that people are not getting at the moment? Because we always hear that people will ship goods and different things when in fact cash is like sometimes a better thing, or if there's like they need bodies down there to help with things. I'm kind of curious of what is lacking and what they're still in need of down there at this moment.
This time, right now, they really got control over the people who's I guess trying to scheme or whatever. They really got really control over that. But like I say, what I'm hearing, I can get with Byron, and he'll let you know. But I can talk to some people and see what all they need.